meditator discovers the field and the knower of the field, and that leads to awakening. It's a beautiful teaching by the originator of Krishna, originator of yoga, who is Krishna in Gita. You know, he is the originator of the system and the technology, and he humbly says that every master declared, taught that one who perceives that the field and the knower of the field are separate, succeeds in meditation and is awakened. So one chapter is totally dedicated to this. Now let me simplify. Do you know your house? That is your field. And you are the knower. Do you know your car? Yes. So car is a field. You are separate from it. You always know it. It is separate. I love my honey. Honey is separate. So honey becomes the field and you become the knower. So look at the humility of the Krishna. That is how the journey of meditation progresses. So now let us understand a little bit about this field. Farmer, field. So farmer is the knower and then there is the field. So there are two meanings. You know, all these verses are unzipped files, zip files. We have to unzip. So when they are compressed file folder and you open them, you find maybe 50 different files. You know what we say? I will send you all the files in a zip folder so you open it and use it. So out of the 50 files, every teacher picks up the one and explains it based on the temperament of an individual. So what is this field? So there are two aspects of the field. Farmer owns the field or the field belongs to the farmer. But the farmer is not the field. And then what? Plows the field, waters it, sows the seed, becomes tree, enjoys the fruit. That is what we do in our daily life. So, pick up the field from the point of view of meditation. So that field is separate from me, the knower. But for all practical purposes, because of ignorance, I claim this field as me. So meditation removes that ignorance and awakening takes place. So what are this field? So even Patanjali, even the masters of Kundalini, mindfulness, they express this field differently. But Krishna is straightforward. He said, count it, 24 elements are the field. What are the 24 elements? 5 elements, 5 sense organs, 5 motor organs, 5 objects of the sense organs, 20. Then mind, intellect, ego. And we say there is a cosmic ego. 24 elements. Because of these 24 elements, there is a deformation in the field. I live in a desert state, So in extreme summer, I see that soil breaks up. You have a big, because of the lack of water. So there is a deformation. And what is this deformation? It is caused by the 24 elements, not by the knower of the field. What are those deformations? Likes, dislikes, pain, pleasure, hate, love, reaction, anger, agitation. And that causes the ignorance. When that causes the ignorance, you suffer. How simple it is. But understand, you have heard from me. Apply the simple principle that I made it easy. You listen to the principle from a teacher, you understand it, you have to put into your head through contemplation and reflection again and again and again. Until the intellect says, I'm clear. There is a clarity. There is no doubt that I'm not the party to the pain and the pleasure. It is all these 24 elements. It is the field. Then you become a seeker, and after becoming a seeker, you practice meditation and you succeed. See, the process is explained logically. Now I go to car dealer, I don't have a driving license, and you sit in a car. Oh no, I know the car, it's a steering wheel, paddle, brake, and four wheels. Can you drive? Yes, I can drive. That is what we do when we claim I focus on the breath. Oh, this is breath mindfulness. If we directly jump onto the chakra, you see, the entire journey has been laid out step by step by all these masters. So now, sorry. Now, how you become a seeker? Krishna, again going to the Krishna in the same Gita, he says that what I say, the 8 factors. You should become aware of the 8 factors. That is the deformation by the field, and the field consists of 24 elements. How you're talking to me, how you're looking at me. Just take an example. So senses are simply to look, not to create likes and dislikes, but we create it. And over it, we start thinking, we get obsessed with the thinking about a person that this guy is crazy. So that impression is taken over by the intellect. And now that intellect lost the wisdom. What I have to do? Field, 24 elements, they are deformation. The person is not good or bad. It is the deformation here. So until we understand that deformation, in modern world, we can say anxiety, depression. When you are ready to divorce, for what? Happiness. When you want to marry, for happiness. That too is a deformation. Now I want to remain single, but we land in unhappiness. So the contents of the mind, that is constantly moving your life in these likes and dislikes, pain and the pleasure. So what has happened? The Krishna says the mind is facing to the world outside. When the mind is facing to the world, you are totally obsessed with the field. I'm using the same word, what Krishna says. So when mind is facing to the world, you forget yourself. So because you forget yourself, the deformation starts. Our superficial nature starts. So our Krishna says, do you recognize these deformations? The word deformation, he used it. I like this word. So what is the point of wisdom? The moment the mind says, I hate this guy, deformation, drop it. Pain, drop it. Pleasure, drop it. Attraction, drop it. So I summarized in 8 factors that is explained by the Krishna in another chapter. Object. Mind is looking at an object. Mind is facing to the world. Second factor, attachment or detachment, liking or disliking. So now the mind starts thinking. It creates a desire. Third point. Now object, attachment or detachment and a desire causes the confusion. All the 4 leads to the loss of memory. Loss of memory means what? I hate this guy. I don't want to sit with this guy. I don't want to see his face. You lost. Loss of memory leads to loss of intelligence. All the 6 factor leads to delusion. And what is delusion? I see a thing where it is not. So my master used to give a beautiful example. You're walking late in the evening when the sun has already set, but it is not dark night, and you see the snake, but that you find, which is a rope. No, it is not a snake, it's a rope. So when you put the light of a torch and you see, no, I'm okay. Where the fear has gone, where the snake has gone, that you have really seen it, felt it. Ignorance. So you remove the 8 factors. So what happens? You become a seeker. Now you have a driving license. You have a driving license, and now you are ready to meditate. And the last one, and then Krishna says in this chapter, a meditative mind. The seeker has a meditative mind. He is a qualified seeker. Breath mindfulness will definitely work for those who have a meditative mind, who are the seekers. Otherwise, what happened? No, I did the practice and I got scared. Some people will create a habit out of it. Nothing is. You may feel good. It's like taking a pill. Meditation is not a pill. So, what Krishna points out, a meditative mind turned towards solitude. He uses the word solitude. And I simplify it, you are living within. Away from the vain noise of the crowds created by this field. Means what? Beautiful explanation. Vain noise of the crowds created by the field, expressed in deformations of likes and dislikes, pain and the pleasure caused by the 8 factors. And then he says, a right perception of the true sense and the larger principles of existence. You see, that is what the talk is. So it means I know the principle, I contemplate and reflect, I get a driving license, I become a seeker. The moment you become a seeker, 80% of your anxiety is already gone. But the master says, no, I have to experience that. I have understood it. I have to experience that state. So once you experience that state, what happens? What do you experience? Krishna defines clearly. I don't know anything. I am explaining what our great masters have taught us. Now, what happens in a state of meditation? The knowledge, the wisdom is present in the mind that perceives the field and the knower of the field, both are separate. The way the farmer in the field understand it clearly by default. What is that state? Krishna says it is the awakening state. What is that awakening? You know, you experience, you live in permanent state of peace and happiness, love and wisdom. This is what is about mindfulness and meditation. So let us start our journey. Let us do the practice, and after that, we will share our experience.